dramatically changed over the last few years. And I've been a COO in Australia, in Ireland, and now the UK for the last sort of 10, 15 years. And probably about 10, 15 years ago, up to about 5 years ago, the focus was very much around cost reduction, how we can improve efficiency, take costs out of IT, and improve the customer experience. Over the last few years, and certainly over the last 18 months with the implications of the COVID-19, I think you've seen a real transformation in the role of the COO. There's very much a regulatory bigger focus now with the implications of operational resilience, both in OCIR, information security, cyber, etc. But also there's a real drive now for innovation and a real drive for innovation around transformation. Now that might have been there 3-5 years ago, but it's really became evident now that the role of the COO is no longer a back office role. It's absolutely a role that's about transforming the organisation, not just the COO function. So if I look at my own area across customer services, IT, information security, financial crime, I also have the branches. So what keeps me awake is actually building the solution in the future for technology. We have to build it around what is the right thing for the customer and the right thing for our employees. It's easy to get distracted by the benefits of technology and say, well, we can do this from home, we can do this at work, we can use these different technologies. All of these technologies enable a better and more flexible solution going forward. But I believe that if you build a solution around the technology, you'll get an answer that's based on the technology. What you want to do is build working practices that allow you to give different hours for employees to attract and retain talent that you couldn't possibly have done before. And all of those things, from my perspective, allow you to build an organisation that will be absolutely beneficial for the long-term future sustainability of a business, to ensure that the employees have the right flexibility to support our customers. What it's taught me in the last 18 months is that as a leader, you have to really get close to your people and be prepared to listen. It's also a real attribute for me is that, an expression I use in the organisation is leaders cast long shadows. And it's often not about what is coming out your mouth. People look at your actions and your shadow behind you. And I've really tried to demonstrate that by ensuring that I'm out there as much as I can in the current environment, where I can, go and visit some of the teams, social distancing, obviously, of course, but really listen to learn, understand what's going out in the market, happening out in the market globally, and bringing that back to the organisation and, getting some of our people to really think about that as well. The ability to understand technology, your legacy technology, and new technologies will be a critical part of the COO role. The whole world is changing so quickly and so dynamically that the COO really has to have an experience in that area. Where that's run, plan, build, architecture, change, transformation, you really have to have some element of technology experience. The role of the COO, you have to really now understand your regulatory requirements. If the organisation has regulatory problems because they're not adhering to the standards that they need to, then the organisation can grind to a halt. You can look across many organisations right now who may have regulatory fines for not having the appropriate governance or the appropriate controls or outages or not implementing change properly. Then they are growing, they often hit the media fairly regularly. And the COO is often the person in the organisation that's accountable for ensuring that they are followed. So from a crystal ball, I can only see that increasing and intensifying. And the role of the COO is not just about reacting now, it's about proactively looking for that insight, that intelligence, and then implementing change and executing change in a really quick and agile way to make sure that your organisation is agile fit is really, really important. And I would say from a crystal ball perspective, they are what are the real things that a COO should be looking forward to the future. as the role of the COO, you have to be really focused on what really smells wrong here that I need to get involved in. And if you've got a real good antennae to look out for that, you'll spot it. And if you can do that really, really well, that's your one thing. And if you do that really well, it allows you to be the COO that you want to be, which is to focus strategically. What's coming? What's within the external environment that's coming towards you in the next 18 months to 3 to 5 years that might change the dynamics of the whole business. And that's where I like to spend my time, to make sure that I've developed a talent that they can run the business day to day. I have got a good enough antenna and sniff test to make sure I can go and support them when it's needed. And that does happen, and that's okay. But that allows me to focus strategically on what's coming from an innovation perspective, from a technology perspective, from an operational excellence perspective, from an operational resilience perspective, new entrants to the market, what competitors are doing, what customers are finding attractive elsewhere in different industries. All of those things have to be really on the antennae as well for a COO.